All right, folks, let's get started. Friday morning. Here we go.
Yo, yo,
Atanas, good
yo.
morning. How's it going?
Oh, good, mate. Thank you. My voice a little bit down, but my mood
So it
it's
is.
up.
Big mood, small voice. That's how we do it. That's why we do podcasting. Nice
Absolutely.
one. Nice one. So, as I remember last time, we were talking about books in the end. So, shall we share some books?
Yes, I have here a pile of books.
Oh, look at this. You have
And
it
you?
ready, brother. Look at this. These are my books
Nice.
already. So I think for the people listening, it would just be cool if we share the books.
Mm-hmm.
We go one by one, and then so that's cool for you to listen to it. And then also we're going to share a little bit of thoughts about maybe audiobooks, podcasts, etc. Again, should be anywhere, I would say 20 to 30 minutes so that you guys can just listen to it and then keep rolling on your day. All right.
And
Atanas,
keep
what do you
reading.
think? Want to share the first book?
Yes, I can share the first one because actually I'm starting every day with this book. This is my
Nice.
morning kind of like page of wisdom. It's a really cool book. It's called The Daily Stoic. 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. And I don't know if there are some Stoics out there, but I'm really passionate Stoic. So yeah, this is a really cool book. It's written by Ryan Holiday. And you're just reading a page per day. Like no excuses here, nothing huge, nothing extreme.
That's great.
And usually the book starts from the 1st of January, but
Okay.
I just started it from, I don't know, 11th of August. So just randomly in the middle of the year. But yeah, it's a really good book because you have one page to read per day. And then through the whole day, you can think a little bit more about it or just forget it forever. But
I like it.
It's really good way of kind of like starting the day.
So especially very good for people who don't want to read too much.
Yes.
Great, man.
Or for beginner readers, because that's also
right.
I remember in the beginning when I started reading, I was like reading and falling asleep. No, stay awake. Because it's kind of hard in the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. Nice one. Cool. That's very good. I really like the simple one page a day thing. Okay, let me keep going. Let's go for the first one that actually changed a little bit of my life. For those who don't know it, it's Miracle Morning. Okay. Just by the way, for those who are listening or watching, we're gonna link all the books later on the LinkedIn post, etc., so that you guys can go check all the books. So basically, Miracle Morning, it's written by Hal Elrod, and actually it tells you what to do before 8 a.m. So basically, it's what to do when you get up. And then he talks about different stuff like exercising, visualize, reading, meditating, and stuff like that. So it's really about when you wake up, what to do first thing in the morning to actually get your brain right or your mind right. So that's a very cool book. And it really changed a lot of things for me because that was actually the first time, actually, I think about 3 years ago, I started reading the book, and then I just actually implied everything that I learned from the book. So it also has on the website like a 30-day challenge that I did that could be cool for a lot of people, where for the next 30 days, every time you wake up, you just do a little bit of something. I think the most important thing, and that's going to be my final sentence on this book, Miracle Morning, is it doesn't matter if you meditate for 15 minutes or for 1 minute, just do it every day, do a little bit every day, find a routine, and then just work from there. So that's a very cool book.
And what's the main message of the book? To wake up before 8 a.m.?
Not at all. The main message is actually what to do after you just got up. So it doesn't matter if you get up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 7 a.m. or even 8 a.m. It's just like, how do you spend the first minutes when you wake up? Because usually, maybe not usually, but some people, when they wake up, they're just checking Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, mails, right? You're like laying in bed, your phone over your head, and you're already checking your emails. And I think we don't have to discuss that this is not healthy and this is not the way it should be.
We can, but I think that needs another podcast.
Right.
It needs another 30 minutes or so.
Right. So basically what he's saying is what to do early morning to actually set your body and your mind right.
Nice.
Yeah. Good one.
I haven't read it. It's really cool that I haven't read that book never, but I'm still waking up early and so. But maybe this it's for, even though for people who, like me, who already have a morning routine, this could be something strong because you can kind of like strengthen your morning.
I think so. But I mean, without extending it too much, it's like, I mean, you already have a morning routine because you understand it, right? Because you are very, very knowledgeable in that area, but you have many people that they just don't know where to start, right? And I think this is a very, very nice way to start. Also, it's like 150 pages. You can read it easily.
True. So should I go with the next one?
Go for it.
Since we're talking about starting, I have this book here. It's called Steal Like an Artist. And it's not about stealing. It's nothing bad and nothing illegal in it. And it's from Austin Kleon. And the guy is really talking about how in every single one of us, there is an artist. And I think that we're also artists because we're helping people to shape their bodies, to shape their minds. And I see this as an art. Like, I'm not just going there, speaking my words and then going away. I'm really trying to create something, to change something. So I think that there is also art in our work, and these things help. These books helps a lot, especially with your social media things and kind of like what to share online, because there is so much information online, and you just can steal something, change it a little bit, and then share it. Like
100%.
You shouldn't invent the wheel. Like, you shouldn't be always starting from zero. So yeah, this book is very, very cool. And the writing style of this guy, Austin Kleon, it's amazing, bro. I highly recommend it to everyone because it really opens your creativity and makes you think like, okay, I'm an artist. Maybe I'm not a painter, I'm not a musician or something like that, but there is still art in my work, and this book helps you unlock it.
And that's very nice. I really like the thinking of an artist, and I just love what you said about like coaching and stuff, that you actually see yourself as an artist. I really like that. That makes a ton of sense.
Yes, because haven't you ever thought about whenever you have some of your clients, because I have also clients that I work more like physically, we're doing like workouts and things, that I have also people who are just working on like coaching sessions and things like that. And when you see the change, how this person came from this shape of body or this shape of mind and 100%. Where it goes, and I'm like, whoa, that's art, bro.
I agree. That's so nice to think that way. That's so nice. That's super cool. Nice. I like that. I really like that. Okay, shall I hop on the next one?
Yes, give me a shot.
Okay, let's go for the hard one, because it's not hard. It's just it's Jocko. So for those who don't know him, it's Jocko Willink. I don't know if you know him, brother. So Jocko, it's
a guy who's speaking like that, and he's gonna rip you.
So Jocko Willink is a former Navy SEAL and keynote speaker, and now also entrepreneur. And he is just a dog. And he has a book which is written. I mean, it's very easy to read. So it's not really a book. He calls it the Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual. Okay. So he has one big quote, which is discipline equals freedom, which I also truly believe in. And instead of writing just a book, he wrote a field manual. So basically it's really just a book that tells you what to do. Okay. And it just covers everything from working out. It also has some workouts in there that you can do about setting your mind right, about visualizing things, and especially like about the discipline of getting up, of doing the things, etc. And this book, honestly, it's written like no other book I have ever read. Like it's not like a basic book. It's just like super nice. It's super small chapters that you can just read to it and just literally put it into action. And so I think if I would take out like one big thing of this book, it's really just the idea of just putting into work. So really practical book. I mean, maybe that's also why it's called the field manual, right? But it's very nice. It's very nice. And the guy, I don't know if I like the book because I like the book, or if I like the book because I like Joko. So that's a good one.
And with such books, you know what I recognize, that it's really cool when you know the voice of the guy,
100%,
the voice of the author, and then you're reading the book and in your brain is his voice.
100%.
This happens with me with one of the books from Gary Vee, because I'm really listening to a lot of things from Gary Vee, and I'm reading the book and in my head is his voice. Yeah, man.
I agree so much.
Really?
I agree so much. It's the same with Joko, right? If you have ever listened to him like on Instagram and stuff, and he has like the deep voice and he goes like, guys, just go after it. And then you read the book, and then you just in your mind, you go like, when you read, guys, just go after it, you just imagine how he speaks. That's a very good point. Very nice.
True. Should I go with the next one?
Go for the next one.
So this book, I was with two friends of mine, and we were just like, I don't know, chilling around, and then we went to a bookstore here at the train station in Zurich, and I saw this book, and it was looking pretty interesting, like Burn After Writing. What the fuck? And then with this, it's a book with questions inside, like every single page, it's a question. Like, let me find something. My parents were, my first pet was, my best friend grew up, things that I have been addicted to, the one thing I regret in the world. Like every single page, there are questions, and you gotta write down. It's super cool. And like, I need to forgive. If I could clean up one mess, it would be the one skill I wish I could possess. Like super cool questions that nobody asks you. Like, it's like journaling, and you can still write to 1 page per day, or maybe 10 pages per day, or something like that. But
I like it.
Makes you think. And
nice.
There is also like things I've done, been skinny dipping, been in a police car, taking drugs, being drunk, being on a flight, and it really makes you kind of like think about your life and your past and what you can do more, and what you want to do, but you never get the courage to do it.
Yes.
And actually you need to burn it after writing. But then I got also two friends more reading and writing in the book, and then we were like, man, we cannot burn this. And then we just decided to write down, and we're going to sit together one day reading and discussing it. But this shit is unburnable.
Man, I like it.
Just a clickbait.
you know what just came to my mind? Like, now you just put the book away, and like in 5 years you meet the people again, and then you go like, let's sit around the fire, and then you read the book, and then you burn it.
Yeah, could be. But I know it's too precious already, man, because it's like 150 pages, and you're right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
It's painful to burn this thing.
I got it, man. That's very nice. I love the aspect of journaling. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that another time. Really like it. Let me hope on the next one. Let's go business. Okay, let's go 0 to 1. Peter Thiel. For those folks out there who don't know me, I'm also the CEO and co-founder of Slightly, where we take best principles from sports into business, professional sports into business, into 1-year program. So all digital, fully system, fully applicable over the app, etc. And basically what we do, you said it beautifully before. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? Just take whatever's out there. And we were like, okay, let's build a business out of 0 to 1. So basically, Peter T, for those who don't know them, he was one of the co-founder of PayPal and then one of the very, very early investors of Facebook. That's actually where he made a ton of money, obviously. And actually, 0 to 1, it's a whole manual on how to build a startup. Okay, so if you have no freaking clue on how to build a startup, you just go 0 to 1. So it tells you a little bit about what's important from the network of a startup, the economy of scale, and many, many other stuff. And the cool thing also is, let me see, it's 190 pages roughly. So it's very short, it's very applicable. So if you're like trying to build a business where you like to scale it, or you are looking for to scale it, 0 to 1 from Peter Thiel, it's very good. For those who know me, I really like to listen to people that have done the shit that I want to do. So I'm very big on that, on my mentors, etc. I can very hardly listen to people and agree with people who want to tell me something they have not done themselves. This is why I really like this book, because Peter Thiel, obviously he's a made man. So this is why 0 to 1 is just very, very cool book on business and how to kind of build and scale a startup.
Was it the one that is focusing a lot on that thing that you really do not need a lot of money and something like a huge ass idea? You just need to have like a structured plan, or this was another book?
I think that's another book. It also has a little bit on that as well, but it's really about thinking about the different disciplines in a startup and how to basically scale a startup. It doesn't speak a lot about money, etc., but I think they all agree that you don't need to have a lot of money to start, just start somewhere, right? And it really just gives you kind of a blueprint to just start and build a business.
Okay, since we're talking about business, here I am with business book again, and it's called Oversubscribed. It's by Daniel Priestley. And this guy is brilliant and his ideas are really cool. And he's talking a lot about the modern way of working, like how everybody wants to be his own boss. Because I think that in me and you, both of us, we do not want to work for some huge ass company like Google, Facebook, or things like that. We prefer to have our business. Maybe it's not going to be like 100 billion business or some 100 billion business or something like that, but still making a good amount of money and really working only with professionals. And this book really gives you the confidence to be that professional. And there is he's kind of like trying to explain to you that you should be the key person of influence in your niche. Like whenever there is somebody walking on the street and he thinks about health, in his head should be Chris or Atanas. Like
I love it.
The rule. So the principles are really, really interesting. And this book is not when you're just starting. It's a little bit, it's kind of like when you have a little bit more experience. So you can really rethink your business and kind of like maybe make a pivot or something like that. But a lot of business knowledge over here. And I really love when I'm reading a book, always making those small marks.
Yes.
And I think that here is on every single page.
Dude, have you seen my books? Like
yes,
my books are like,
the notes, yeah.
they're like a rainbow.
So yeah. And for example, the message of this book is like, stop fighting for customers. Let customers fight over you.
I like this. That's great. That's great. Maybe a little input on here for the people who are listening, like the full video or are looking at it. I think that's a very good point. The thing that I do here with the marks, right? If I open one, you will always see, let's see how it is. There we go. If I open one, you will also see that I highlight stuff. So I think that there are two different ways of reading. You can either read just to like chill out and relax. And I think that's good if you read like any like Harry Potter stuff or whatever. But I think that if you're reading about personal development and also about business books, I would highly recommend to everybody, work with bookmarks, work with highlighters, because also after you have read the whole book, you can kind of go through it again and just read again, like the most important stuff, right? Because if you can read it a second time, you always gonna learn a little bit more from it. So I think that's a very good point, to not only read it, but also read it kind of on purpose, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. The other thing that could be good is like making notes on your phone.
100%.
We all have already cool phones, and everybody has if you do not have Apple, like Samsung or so, you still have like notes app or something.
100%.
You can just write down there. That's what I do, because with the notes I find it a little bit hard, and also with the highlights, because I'm super lazy guy. I'm very disciplined, but I'm the laziest motherfucker in the room, and I'm like, whoa man, that's so slow to go and find the exact page.
Yes.
And that's why I really prefer to have it on my phone in the notes, so I can tap on search for something specific that I want, or just go through it. And yes. Note is one of the best app on your phone. Use it.
100% agree. I really agree on that. I'm gonna keep going with the books. One thing you said, that you are disciplined and lazy. Yeah. I say it all the time, and I actually steal it from Joe Rogan. I am the most disciplined, lazy person you will ever know, right? This is why we go back to discipline equals freedom.
Cheers,
if you're disciplined, if you're disciplined, you got freedom. And I really think that you can structure your whole kind of life about discipline. Anyways, let's keep going a little bit with discipline. Let's go relentless. Tim Grover, one of the best motherfuckers ever out there, one of the best coaches out there. His whole life has been crazy. Everybody knows, or the people who knows him, they know him as the coach of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and a couple of others, big people. If you listen to, or if you know, for example, Andy Frisella, who is one of the greatest entrepreneurs in the US, founder of First Form, he also got coached by Tim Grover. Tim Grover also knows Ed Milet very good, coached him. So he's not only a sports coach, he used to be a sports coach, and now he's a business coach, etc. And he has many good coachings. And the cool thing is a little bit of how he started being a coach at like 26. He just, there was no email then, no WhatsApp, no nothing. So he just wrote a letter to everybody from the Chicago Bulls, except Michael Jordan. Right. And obviously nobody replied, because he just wanted to become a PT, like a personal trainer. And then Michael Jordan was like, why does everybody has a letter, but I do not? And then he reached out to Tim, or the team reached out to Tim, and then they get to know each other, and the rest is history. I think he has been his coach for like 15 years or something like that, like crazy. So basically, the whole book is about being relentless, right? And then he just wrote a second book, who is back there in my bookshelf, which is about winning, right? And he's just very big on winning and how to be relentless. So basically, he really takes the best principles from those high achievers in sports, like an MJ, like a Kobe, etc., and put it into practice, so that you can actually use it and kind of be knowledgeable on how to be relentless. So basically, on how to just keep going, finish the stuff you started, etc. So that's a very good book, especially if you know sports, if you know a little bit, if you're interested like in sports, especially also basketball and everything, it just helps to relate. But also, if you just want to like read like a book written by a very, very good guy. Tim Grover is, for me, a little bit same like Jocko Willink. If you listen to them, they have a very, very deep voice. They barely ever smile. They're super serious, right? But their content is just awesome. Just very, very good.
Killer content.
Yeah.
Yeah, and imagine if you're the coach from Michael Jordan, like That's huge, man.
It's crazy.
Have you ever watched the series on Netflix about Michael Jordan?
Sure.
What was
Like
the
3
name of
times.
it?
I
The name?
can't remember. We're so bad.
Yeah, so bad at memory.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance. Whoa, I highly recommend this movie. It's really motivational. And even though if you're not a huge fan of basketball, I think that you can still find a lot of good insights in that movie.
I think you will find 2 great insights in that movie. We can maybe speak about it just for a minute and then go back to books. But it's, first of all, it's really being relentless, and it's about winning. So if you watch the documentary on Netflix, like MJ, I mean, he's crazy. Everything he just cares about is how to win, right?
Win.
Yeah, you can speak about if it's good or not, but it's very good. And then the second thing, and this for me was the greatest thing, I would show the movie or part of the movie to every leadership seminar ever. Like, this is so big on leadership and how to deal with different people, because Phil Jackson, who used to be the coach in the prime, right? He had MJ, he had Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, etc. They were all like huge characters, especially Dennis Rodman, and he had to deal with them differently, right? So it's so huge on leadership. If you have a team of like alpha guys, right, on how to deal with them and how to lead them and how to make them understand that they all have the same goal and treat everybody the way they need to be treated, so that they can really kind of go all out and just be their best. So I think the whole thing, it's cool on motivation, it's cool on basketball and everything. I think it's great on leadership.
Absolutely. So for all the CEOs out there, go watch The Last Dance.
I think so. I really believe that.
Should I go with the last book?
Go for it.
It's called How to Talk to Strangers. No, to anyone, sorry. How to Talk to Anyone. And I'm coming from Bulgaria, and before I came here to Switzerland, I was not so open person. And when you have never been living into some other country, like, you do not know how big the world is. And it was kind of like scary for me, like how I can go to some random people in another language of Bulgarian, like in English or in German. Ooh, that's going to be super scary. How I can even start a conversation, why I'm interesting for those people, what I can say to make them interested in just listening to me for a couple of seconds. And I think that this book was really a kick in my ass. It really showed me that everybody can go to everybody and just start a conversation out of nowhere, and you can become the best friends or never speak again. But this book is all about 92 little tricks for big success and how to really establish good relationships. And
great,
it's really, really cool. Like, you have every technique during the book. It's in those boxes like that.
I like that.
Yes, and you can just go through the book and read the boxes. And I know it's not a book that everybody will talk about, because many people do not want to have a lot of connections or whatever. But for me, connections are really, really important. And this book really showed me how to do it. And now I can easily say that I'm freak. Wherever I go, I can just start conversation with anyone I want. And I know that I can just show myself in a good light, so to say it. And this book has a major impact on all of my conversations.
I love it. Nice one. Cool. Shall I go with the last one? I have the last one with me here. It's called The Compound Effect. Written by Darren Hardy. I think I read it like 3 years ago, and since then I think that I did read it 2 or 3 times. What's great about that book is really to understand the effect and the idea behind the compound effect, right? So the cool thing is, when you take it into a financial term, it makes sense, right? you put money into a bank, okay, maybe not into a bank today, but somewhere else, right? And then maybe you get 10% profit on it every year, and then you leave it there, and then you're always gonna have like more money on it. And it's going to compound, right? So the interest will compound, and then it's just going to multiply, etc. The amazing thing is you can also put it into your own body, right? So basically, you start working out, for example, and then at the beginning you don't see a lot, and then at some time you will just be very, very good at it. So it's just gonna, like the curve will just go high very, very fast. What I have understood reading that book, and what this is also the reason why I read it over and over and over again, it's really the idea of, if you put in the work in now, you will not see the result today. You will not see it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you have to trust that in 5 to 10 years, it's just it would just go up like
you're consistent.
Freakingly crazy. It's about consistency. But the crazy thing is, when you see the curve, most likely it's going to be flat for a long time, then it's going to go up, but then at some point it's going to go up like crazy, right? And if you talk about business and, for example, startup, etc., you can really see that. Like, there are many startups that you can see, or businesses, where they're working for 5 years, they don't move a lot, and then within 1 year they just got to the top, right? Because it just clicked. And I think it's the same with life and whatever you do. It's just like, start somewhere, be consistent, believe in what you're doing, like reflect every now and then if it still makes sense. And then if you just keep going, at one point, it's just going to flow. So the compound effect for me is just great. It has been very, very good. It's easy to read, actually. It's very easy to read. And it just really makes you understand how it works, and that you just have to start somewhere, keep working, be consistent, and just let it flow.
Just to say that it's on my list there on the wall. I have like life-changing books and the compound there. I haven't read it yet, but after your words, I will definitely.
I would love to give you my book, but as you can see, it's very personalized. I have just a last little thing I would like to show people. Now I'm going to fuck up the whole podcast because I have to move, but just hold on a second.
No problem. Meanwhile, I can tell them that this thing with exponential growth that you have been explaining, I think that it's called the hockey stick principle or something like that, because you're kind of like exponentially
Could
growing.
be. So, for example, I can just show one picture out of it. So that's actually, if people are seeing it, it's good. If you are just listening to it, just go get the book. So basically, as you can see, this is what I was explaining. For example, let's take 2 years or 3 years, right? Somebody, or just 3 months, somebody works out or doesn't work out. In the first maybe 1 to 2 months, you will not see any difference, right? But after a while, somebody that doesn't do shit will drop, for example, half-wise, and somebody that does something will just get super fit, right? So the difference will just widen up. So that's maybe cool for the compound effect, just to finish it right there. And just to finish up maybe the whole thing, as you were also talking about the book before, that's a book that actually isn't a book. So that's the 5-minute journal, right? So just quickly about journaling, because I think that could be very interesting besides reading. It's basically how to journal, and that's very easy. So every day, that's going to be your morning, and that's going to be the afternoon, right? Or the evening. So let me just explain it to you in 30 seconds how it works. So in the morning, you just write down what you're grateful for, what will make today great, and just a little bit of daily affirmation. And then in the evening, you write about 3 things that made today amazing, and then also how you could have done it better, right? And I think it's an Australian company, and they ship it all the way to wherever you live. I think it's for 3 months, if I don't miss it. And it's just very cool to just start to journal, just to start and just see what it does with you. Because it's called the 5-minute journal, because basically it takes you 3 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes in the evening if you want to do it like properly. So that's maybe an add-on to not being book, but still being book.
And since we're talking about journaling, I may just add that if there are people like me who do not love writing by their hand, you can also use some app on your phone, because I'm doing the same thing as Chris, but I'm doing it on my phone.
I love that.
So depends on how you feel. I'm more like a digital kid, so I really prefer to have it written.
Nice one.
And again, I'm grateful for 3 or 5 things. I'm writing every morning 5 things. But nice. I think that we can make a podcast talking only about journaling. It's going to be cool.
I think so too.
Our methods. But yeah, don't be afraid to start journaling. Like, doesn't matter if it's on a paper or on your phone. Just fucking start.
Yeah, I think it's just about starting it. But I really like your point on maybe doing a podcast about journaling, and maybe what we can do like daily, weekly, and stuff like that. So for the people listening, there was something that was also very interesting when Atanas and I met this morning, and we were talking about the books, and we both prepared the books. We really had like different books. We had not one similar book, which was very, very interesting, because I thought maybe he will prepare like 5 books and I will prepare like 5 books. And then we will like have 2 books that are very similar or the same, but that wasn't the case. So that was very nice. And also we spoke about maybe speaking also about audiobooks and podcasts, but Atanas, honestly, I think we are time into it, and I think it will be a great podcast, maybe a great idea for next week to talk about podcasts and audiobooks, you know, like what we can listen to, because I think that's also going to take like 20 to 30 minutes to speak about it. And I think we can wrap this one up for the book session today.
Yeah. And what are your final words for today?
So my final words for today is just fucking read, right? If you don't like to read, maybe go for audiobooks. I personally, I like the hybrid version. So sometimes I listen to audiobooks when I'm walking, when I'm riding my bike, whatever. I like to read. I think it's something psychological about it, just to read something. So it also, like, if you listen to audiobooks, you can get distracted by anything. If you read, you just read. So you put your phone away, etc., and you just concentrated on reading and kind of focusing. So I really like the part from that. So I think my final words are just read. Start somewhere. Start with 1 book and just see what happens. Start with 1 page a day, and then see how you like it. And then, as we said before, we're gonna put the links for the books on the post and on YouTube, so that you guys can actually go check it out.
True. I highly support that. I was also planning to say just read a page per day or something like that, and become a reader. Because honestly, until my 25th year or something like that, I haven't read. Maybe I've read just 2-3 kid books for kids, you know. And then I started reading, and now everybody knows me as Atanas. He's fucking reader. Like he reads.
Crazy.
I just started 2 or 3 years ago. Like you can change yourself at any given point.
100%.
Time. So yeah, don't be afraid to just start. And maybe you're not going to be good in the beginning.
I agree.
Maybe you're going to fall asleep on the book. But anyways, during the time, you're going to improve yourself, and you're gonna be better.
Yeah, just start somewhere. I think that's a good final statement. Just start somewhere. So as usual, brother, it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Likewise, mate. And yeah, we can speak next week again. Bye,
100%.
guys.
See you guys. Enjoy the books.